Hi, I'm Ryan Ashley Wall. This is Season 2, Episode 10 of the Raw Quiz Show. Tonight I have a back-to-back, a second event for us tonight. It's going to be a good one. I think someone might die this episode, which is my sincerest hope. With that being said, let's meet our would-be victims. Tonight I have with me Drew Dodgen, Roy Short, Brian Lopez, and Tiffany Cornwall. Now, tonight is a different night. This event I'm calling Tug of War. So called because the teams on the left side of the people on the left side of your screen, left side of me, will be Team 1, and the team to my right will be Team 2. And so you listening, or so that you combatants playing, I should say, know who that is. That would be Drew and Brian versus Roy and Tiffany. Now, anytime something good happens for your team, a tug of war will happen where imagine a pit between the two teams. If one team is weighted 3 spaces away from the other, and each time a question goes in their favor, that'll go towards them 1 space. If one team ends up 3 spaces away from the other, that means they pull them into the pit, and both of the people on the losing team will lose 15 points. So for you watching on YouTube, there will be a graphic for this, but for these guys, we're just going to have to do our best to abstract it. So without further ado, though, I would like to answer a quick support question that I asked on the Raw Quiz Show Facebook group, and I asked, how many U.S. states have I been in? The closest answer to that was Chris Heflin for Roy, and the answer was 5, possibly 6. I'm not sure if I've been to Tennessee or not, but I have been all up and down those. I've been all up and down those mountains, so I may have accidentally been in Tennessee, but we're going to call it 5 to be safe.
Good to know I'm more well-traveled than you are.
Yes. I will say I'm pleasantly surprised that the group thought I was more well-traveled than I actually am. I don't know. I guess hosting a trivia show kind of leaves an impression of intelligence that is not necessarily backed up. But anyway, let's get on to our first real question. This one is a science question for 10 bow points, so that means anybody can join in on this one without any danger. How many Panama Canals does it take to reach the moon?
Tiffany?
Yes.
4,778 miles.
That is correct.
Not miles. Just kidding.
Oh, I know what you meant.
Okay, good.
That is 10 bow points. Tiffany, who are you hitting?
Wait, am I team 1 or team 2? Just so I know when you're.
You're team 2.
Okay. I'll hit Brian.
Brian, okay. So Brian is down to 45. And of course, that pulls things to the right 1 bit. That's towards team 2. So if they were to get 2 more questions in succession, team 1 falls in the pit. Team 1, time for some redemption, or possibility for redemption. I should also note, though, that because of the nature of this competition, I will not be doing any disabling tonight. So if somebody's on a roll, that's just happening, guys. Sorry to say it. Our next question is of the random category. We're going to do a scavenger hunt. This time there's no convoluted clues, and there's no possibility of redemption for somebody slow. It's just the fastest to get this object. Guys, I need a soup ladle.
As a single man, I do not have this.
Okay, well, it looks like Team 2 just has it in general. I should have mentioned beforehand that was for 10 sword points, but that actually works out to Team 2's benefit anyway, since Tiffany showed up first. So
I'm spooked this is going to be a short episode.
It's got to be my night. I haven't had one yet.
Well, Brian, that was a bit late. Tiffany got it, and of course, it was for 10 sword points. So, Brian, you're coming down a little more, and Team 2 edges one more. If Team 2 gets another, then Team 1 loses 15 points. So, you guys
are they? Is Roy and Tiffany are they in the kitchen or something? How did they?
My kitchen's right there. I'm in the dining room.
I just cook out of the office.
My apologies, Brian. I don't even have one.
All right, guys.
Man, I was so confident.
It may balance out here. We have a culture question, our first culture question of the night for 10 sword points. So if I were you guys, Brian and Tiffany would be the matchup here. What are the flying turtles in Mario called?
True. Oh, wait, you said, never mind.
Okay.
Cancel.
Brian. Paratroopers.
Paratroopers is correct. And off the brink, it's still one to the right. So that means Team 2 is still at an advantage here, but Team 1 is not on the brink. So maybe you guys can bring it back to the middle. We'll see how it goes. Our next question is a history question for 10 sword points. When was Thailand founded?
Brian. 1238.
1238. All right. The Tug of War is back in neutral position, and Tiffany is down 2 points. But
okay, but wait. This means that Roy or Drew are never going to lose sword points.
That is possibility.
That does not seem fair. I'm just saying.
We can be hit by bow points.
Well, yeah, but that's only like half the questions.
Well, guys, you guys don't even know how many are weighted what, so just relax.
I'm just throwing
and
up
besides, Ryan all has said nearly every episode, this game is not fair.
It is not fair. that is
easy to say when you don't get hit with sword points.
Oh, I did. I got hit first.
I'm talking to Drew. Or that way, I don't know, whichever way he is.
Look, even when you know which way.
On my screen, I'm above you.
Yeah, my screen, you're next to me. So.
Yeah. Anyway, Brady Bunch semantics aside, let's move on to our next culture question for 10 bow points, so anybody can jump in on this one. What is the name of the painting depicting a very stoic man and wife farmer pair? Famous painting.
Drew.
Drew.
American Gothic.
That is correct for 10 bow points. Woo. And now advantage Team 1 moves one to the left. Drew, who are you hitting?
Well, since Tiffany feels like it's not fair, or is Tiffany the one? Roy's the one that's at the bottom, isn't she? Isn't he?
Yep. Yep.
Well, yeah, but
I'll attack Roy.
Okay. Okay. Roy, it is. All right. Maybe I'll be kind enough to switch who's in the middle halfway through the episode. Does that seem fair?
Mm-hmm.
That seem fair?
Brian, say yes. That seems fair.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Then you and I are going to be the ones who die when the thing falls in because we're going to have the lowest points.
All right. So best performance here if we have. Oh, sorry. Our next question is of the random category. What we're going to do is charades, and the two teams will be competing against each other by multiple trials. So I have 4 total categories, 2 for each team. If one of you succeeds and the other team fails, then the team that succeeded will win. If not, we can go on to a tiebreaker round, and if neither of those matter, it's whichever team completed theirs the quickest wins, okay? So each team will have 30 seconds per clue. I will send each of you guys, or I will send one at a time, I should say, the clue. So, Tiffany, for Team 2, you're going to start us off. 30 seconds, and and again, of course, charades rules. Can't speak. You just act it out, So, good luck. So, once you have the clue and you're ready for me to start the clock, just let me know.
Okay.
Roy, you're gonna have to guess this. Go.
Fly like an eagle.
Keep going. Keep guessing.
Okay, great.
I have soaring, flying, soaring. I have no clue.
Okay. Well, we are approaching
I don't know what else to do.
time.
It was birds. Birds fly.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know what else to do.
Oh, goodness. Brian, you are going to do the charades for Team 1. Remember,
Uh-oh.
Team 1 has a current advantage of 1, so if they win this, it moves to an advantage of 2, and we're closer to the pit, Team 2, so you better hope they fail at this. Brian, when you have the clue and you're ready, let me know, and I will start the timer.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I sent the clue to you.
Mm,
Would you rather receive it via text?
I'm ready.
Oh, you
Wait,
got-
you sent
saw
me through Facebook, right?
yeah, you saw it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start the timer in 3, 2, 1.
Mole. Gopher. Fish.
That is correct. I didn't expect it. All right. So with this
It took me a while to see that he had the lips going.
that was really good, Brian. I thought fish and birds were fair fair game there. So for that particular thing, both teammates will get 5 points and advantage team 2 is now at 2. Advantage team 1. It's now at 2 to the left. If team 1 gets this next question, then team 2, you both lose 15 points. So on your A game, our first viewer question of the night for 10 shield points. What talent is the actor Michael Winslow best known for? Oh, I'm sorry. This question is brought to you by Josh Adams. Thank you, Josh.
Roy,
Oh,
Roy.
no.
being able to make sounds with his mouth.
That is correct. Remarkable sound effects or some variation of that answer is what I was looking for. Roy, you saved your team from the brink. Advantage is still to team 1, but it's only 1 to the left and not 2. So you're a little safer. Our next question is a culture question for 10 normal points. What is the world's most popular fruit?
Drew.
Drew, what do you have?
Tomatoes.
The tomato is correct. And
Makes sense considering I'm in the old tomato capital of Texas.
all right, give me just a second. I'm going to count questions here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You know, they say knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. And philosophy is wondering if that makes ketchup a fruit smoothie.
Interesting. So, in 2 questions, I will switch the 2 people in the middle. So it would be Drew and Roy in the middle. But that comes in 2 questions because I want it to be halfway through, unless I've miscounted, in which case, sorry. I've counted, though, and I'm not going to keep counting until my eyes fall out. So hopefully I was right the first time.
I appreciate the fairness.
Our next question is a science question for 10 bow points. Approximately how much above ground gold is there in the world? And I say approximately because it's best guesses. We have reasonable estimates, but that's the best.
Drew,
True.
186,700 tons
That is close enough to what I have that I'll take
as of 2015.
it.
Or if you want closer, 190,000.
20,000 tons. Yes.
I got 197,000, but whatever.
Oh, I should have looked at the ads on the search thing. It actually says that.
It's all right. So 10 bow points. Where are you hitting, Drew?
Hang on. Roy.
Roy? Okay, bye-bye shield points. So advantage team 1 with 2. So team 2, you're on the fence. Let's see what we got here. Our last question before we switch to people in the middle. It is for 10 sword points, a history question. When was the Taj Mahal constructed?
Brian,
Up to
Yes,
1631.
1631 is correct. So, okay.
Thank you, Brian.
Let's see how this goes. Okay. So, I'm sad to say, Tiffany, you've died.
got.
What?
I had 10 points left.
You did. However, that constitutes the third. Team 2 has fallen into the pit, losing 15 points each. By the way, Roy, if you die, I'm just going to switch this to a normal head-to-head at that point. But Roy, you're pulling the weight here. Tiffany, be sure to stick around because I would like to interview you after this episode's over. Just
Can I be like James and not show up for it?
you can if you want, but I would prefer that you did. As promised, though, I did switch things around because Roy has no choice but to be in the middle, and I just swapped Drew.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for that.
All right, next up. By the way, with the Tug of War having been finished, we reset to neutral position, and Roy, you're at a severe handicap, but let's see how it goes. It is for 10 bow points, a random category question. We're going to do a new event here on the Raw Quiz Show. We're going to do Simon Says, or Ryan Says, rather. So here's what we do. The rules are simple. If I say a command, you're supposed to obey it as long as I say Ryan Says in front of it. If I don't say Ryan Says and you obey the command, you're eliminated. Last person standing wins. Roy, if you're eliminated first, then we'll just allow Drew and Brian to take it because they only have one valid target. I mean, they could fight each other, but I don't know if Drew wants to do that. So, anyway, Ryan says, put your left hand on your head. Ryan says, remove your headgear. The headphones can stay on, but the hat's got to come off. Okay. Ryan says, remove your hand from your head. And by the way, I never did instruct that, so
Yep.
that was quick. So, Roy has been eliminated. It doesn't really matter if Ryan or Drew has the points. They go to Roy. Advantage team 1. Oh, this could be a massacre tonight. I'm not even sorry. Our next question is a culture question for 10 bow points. Who hit the longest verifiable home run in pro baseball? When and how far? On the plus side, Tiffany, you're not here for the sports question.
Mm-hmm. That's so helpful. I would have maybe even gotten that one right.
Drew.
Joey Meyer
Yep.
for 582 feet.
Yep. When was that?
1987.
That is correct. 10 bow points again.
And the team was Denver Zephyrs, if you need to know that.
I don't, but that works. And critical condition, Roy. Team 1 has another advantage against you, and regardless of what happens, you have low enough points to where if either one of these guys gets us, you're getting eliminated too. So, yikes. Good luck. You could live to fight another day, though. Our next question.
Doubtful.
Our next question.
I've been on life support for 3 episodes.
Our next question is a science question for 10 normal points. What is the terminal velocity for a human? What is terminal velocity for a human?
True.
True.
About 200 kilometers an hour.
That is correct. Or 120 miles per hour, depending on what system you use. 10 normal points. And I'm sorry to say it, Roy, buddy, you can also stick around for the end of the episode. All right, so we're going to recalibrate things here. It is now a head-to-head, but we are still going to be playing. No, we're not going to be playing with Tug of War rules. Just because.
And Brian, not
Yeah, just because I don't want the season to necessarily end this episode. So.
You got 40 points. It's possible.
Yeah, so our next question is a history question for 10 normal points. We are back to normal rules, so the scoreboard is movable again, which means Drew is technically in first. That being said, for 10 normal points, what is the oldest spoken language on Earth? Drew, what do you have?
The Tamil language.
That is correct. Oh, man.
Brian, you got to say your name.
And it's
Your
not
name
O.
is not O.
I told
So,
you.
Brian.
Yes. Just train yourself to do it or something. I don't know. Our next question is also
Speech therapist.
the speech therapist. Our next question is also for 10 normal points. It is of the random category. What we're going to do is a Pictionary.
Good night.
Okay, let's see.
Hang on, I got to minimize this so I can see what you're drawing. A castle.
Yes. But let's see. There's a person in it.
Dungeons and Dragons.
No. Brian, you can also guess. You know, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll help Brian.
Dracula?
Yes, actually.
Oh, I should have just said Castlevania.
Yeah. Dracula is correct. That was for 10 normal points. I didn't see that. You just came out of nowhere with that. Good job.
I was like, okay, to the cave. This got to be Dracula's castle. It's Dracula.
Our next question is for 10 sword points, which, by the way, at this point, there is no distinction between sword and bow points, except what sound effect plays when you get them. So, this next is a science question for 10 sword points. How many licks does it take to reach the chocolatey center of a chocolate Tootsie Pop?
The world may never know.
Hurry up, Brian.
Drew.
364 licks.
364 is correct. So, bye-bye points, Brian.
The owl lied to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so did the robot, and there was like a giant dragon. Whatever. All those commercials. Our next question is a viewer question for 10 normal points from Nicole Stanley. Who was the first president born west of the Mississippi River?
Drew.
Herbert
Hoover.
Herbert Hoover is correct. Oh my goodness, Drew.
Sure you don't want to disable me?
I mean, I would, but that doesn't like that's
I'd win by
not
default.
competition anymore.
And we don't have that much time.
Our next question is a history.
I have to say, when does the mercy rule get played here? I just looked at the score.
There is no mercy rule in the RAWQuiz show. In fact, the rule is no mercy. So
That's true. That's true.
for 10 sword points, our next question is a history question. Why is the power symbol a circle interrupted by a line?
True.
True.
The line is actually a 1, and it means on. The zero. The circle is actually a 0, which means off because of binary.
That is correct, actually. So yeah, and there is actually a difference between the power symbol with where the line is completely in the circle. That implies a full on-off operation, whereas the one where the line interrupts the circle is a on versus kind of like a standby power mode.
Mm-hmm.
That's more information than you guys need, but I thought it was interesting. Our next question is a culture question, 10 normal points. What is the highest grossing non-English film of all time?
Drew?
True.
Wolf Warrior 2?
Wolf Warrior 2 is correct. What did I say those were? Bow points?
I don't know.
It isn't going to matter here shortly.
I'm going to say they're bow points, but we'll see how that goes. Our last question of the night. So, Brian, whether you live to fight another day, man, but you're going to have to step up. It's for 10 normal points, we are going to play the elimination game. And since there's only 2 of you, there's one category here. I had 3 written out because I thought maybe all of you would survive to the question, but that did not happen. Tiffany and Roy, would you guys like to vote on the category we use?
Sure.
Here.
Okay, I have famous candy bars, types of human dwelling, or brands of gum.
Gum.
Sure.
All right, Drew, brands of gum, go.
Wrigley's.
Brian.
Winter Fresh.
Drew.
5.
Brian.
Red Hot.
Drew.
Double Bubble?
Yes, that is correct. Brian.
Triple Bubble.
No. Unless I am very much
This is a
mistaken.
Toy Story 1, 2, or 3.
Well, that was fun. Anyway, well,
I'm just going to point out that if he had
ball.
I'm just going to point out that if he had actually gotten that one, my next thing only thing I could have thought of was Bubble Bobble, which would have been wrong too.
well, guys, there's Bazooka Joe, there's Juicy Fruit, there's
I
Red.
don't normally chew gum, which I should, but still.
And it's easy when you're not in the middle of doing it. Like,
yes,
my kids are like, why didn't you say such and such? It's hard when you're thinking of it.
It
That's
truly
true.
is.
Yeah.
It truly is. Like on state capitals, I failed to get the state capital that I live in. So I get it, but when the pressure's on, it's a lot harder.
Mhm.
That being said, guys, we had a double helping of death this episode.
Mhm.
I
Brian,
personally blame Chris Eflin.
life support. So
He kills people. He's a serial killer even when he's not here.
well, I think this one is actually my fault.
Yeah, I blame Ryan for sure.
That's probably safe to blame
Yes.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can blame Chris for anything. So
Well, guys, this is not the first double elimination in Raw Quiz Show history, but it is probably the fastest.
No, it's the 4th.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the fastest and most significant, though. Jeez. So, that being said, now is a perfect time to announce that I will be taking a week off this following week because Valentine's Day week, I am married, and I don't want to be spending that weekend editing this show.
So you're taking a week off for Singles Awareness Day. I really appreciate that.
You're very much welcome. So you can be alone with your thoughts and no trivia to speak of, unless you seek it elsewhere. So enjoy. That being said, the rest of you are perfectly free to enjoy Valentine's Day with your loved ones, even though 2 of you would be doing that anyway since you've been eliminated.
Since we died.
Exactly. All right. Now that we've sorted all that out, before we cut to plugs, why don't we just take a moment to mourn the loss of both Tiffany Cornwall and Roy Short in the same episode, taken tragically from us by a brutal duo of Brian and Drew. Tiffany, how do you feel about having been eliminated? Basically the second real combatant after James. I mean, I was eliminated, but that's going to happen.
Definitely not how I thought it was going to go down. I mean, but hey, now I get to go to bed early. So,
So, is there somebody here you're rooting for that's still standing? Somebody you're going to say?
I'll root for Brian. I always go for the underdog.
Okay. So, if you were supporting Tiffany, I recommend throwing your support behind Brian.
Yeah, Drew certainly doesn't need it.
Drew doesn't need the help, that is for sure. Roy.
I can't help it. I absorb trivia like a sponge absorbs water.
It's clear. That is clear. Roy, you also were eliminated this episode. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm going to do kind of like John Belushi stated in Animal House. I'm going to start drinking heavily.
Well, I'm hoping that's absolutely unrelated to the Raw Quiz Show.
You want to bet?
Although, if it is, I'm not sure if I want to advertise that or not.
Well, I did, drink soda or something like that. Yeah.
The Raw Quiz Show.
Yeah, he didn't say what kind of
Yeah,
drink
you're
he
the
was
one that
gonna be
went down
drinking.
that direction.
It could have been just water.
Heavy drinking water. Okay, you try this.
Yes. Hey, I used to drink 2 liters of water a day.
Yeah. Heavy drinking implies content. let me just say. But look, apart from causing your relapse, Roy, is there somebody here you would like to throw your support behind?
You got to go with, Drew, and Brian, it's nothing, against you. I mean, Drew has been strong pretty much out of the gate. So, unlike pulling for my Tennessee Volunteers, I'm definitely going to go with Drew.
All right. So both Drew and Brian have gained supporters this week, even if they have lost fellow combatants. Guys, I'm so thankful you guys have been on here. Both of you have been a fantastic and welcoming and mature presence on this show because, let's face it, this left side of the screen, or left side of the screen, I'm never going to get the mirroring thing right. This left side of the screen, let's face it, we are basically 13 years old. So
you're calling us old?
No, I'm not calling you old. I'm calling you.
The minute he said that, I said, it's just because I got gray in mine and you don't. Come on.
I mean, mentally, I'm 5, so
That's what I'm getting at, Drew. Look, guys, this hairline is in full retreat. All right, I'm not saying you're old.
We didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
I'm just making a point here. It's not about age. It's about class. You guys brought class to this show, which is remarkable considering this show has no class. So thank you guys.
Well, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
That's correct. That is correct. But guys, I really do appreciate it. It's been a blast with you guys. Shame you guys were eliminated, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And the Raw Quiz Show is not fair. So if you have any complaints, please send them to no one, because that's exactly who's going to listen to them anyway. If you have any questions you would like read on the Raw Quiz Show, try sending them to rawquizshow@gmail.com. But before I let you go, Drew, you have, or are participating in at least two podcasts. I just saw your name. Brian. Oh, you guys at home are not going to see this, but Drew has changed his name to No One Can Stop the Juggernaut, and Brian has changed his name to I'm Screwed.
I'm curious if this is prophetic.
It might be like a 2-minute episode next time.
That is a possibility. So I'm hoping not, but Brian, it is an uphill battle, man. It is a very uphill battle. And when it comes down to two people, I don't really, there's no point in disabling. Then it's not a competition. So you just got to come with your A game. Take your vitamin B, man. You're going to need it.
And not
practice your
vitamin
name.
O.
Yeah, practice your name.
Here you go. Brian, you can make a screenshot of that. Yeah.
There you go.
Who's Niab?
Yeah, it's backwards.
Yeah, it goes backwards.
Anyway, guys, Drew, you've got two podcasts you're on. Would you like to talk about those real quick?
Sure thing. I am, of course, on a podcast called The Cellcast, where we review animated movies. And the episode that's going to come out the day this releases, assuming everything falls on Saturday like it's supposed to, is our 2-year anniversary episode. And we also look at the upcoming movies coming out this year, the animated wise. I'm also on the Movie of the Week podcast, where we review live action movies. And I'm still going to say look for that Kong Skull Island and Matrix review, because we had to take an unfortunate week off there due to health reasons for one of our people. So, yeah.
Well, I hope they get better. And that being said, look, your Valentine's Day is not a total loss. You still have an anniversary to celebrate. It's just not normal.
Yeah, except we did that a week early.
Anyway.
And trust me, that thought did not cross my mind. And we were getting ready to record it, so.
Well, guys, thank you for being here. Nice, Roy. I see what you did there. Yeah. Roy, you are indeed short-lived. And Tiffany, you ran into a Cornwall. That's the best I can come up with. It's kind of hard to make a pun out of that name. So it's corny, but included a one. Anyway, guys, thanks. It's been a blast. I didn't expect things to go so fast. So with that being said, like, subscribe, share, comment. No comment question this week, but be on the lookout on the Raw Quiz Facebook group, where I will occasionally ask support questions. And also, evidently, I'm in need of a new cast very soon. So if you want to be on the Raw Quiz Show Season 3, send in your reasons for wanting to be on at RAWQuizShow@gmail.com. I had an application process last time. This time, just say what you think would be best. If you want to do a video, that's fine too. But of course, we record on Thursdays. Timing will be flexible depending on who's joining. But it is a roughly hour-long commitment each week. And
then if you're not there, you'll be eliminated.
Say again?
If you're not there, you don't show up, you will be eliminated.
That is correct.
That is the rule.
Attendance is key to success here at the Raw Quiz Show. So it is a commitment, but it is
If
also...
you don't believe us, look at James.
a two-time loser to bad attendance. But guys,
Three times he gets a real fruit smoothie.
Or the ketchup.
yeah, or ketchup.
That's what I meant.
Oh.
So, and the color for this episode is red too, so that just works out beautifully. But guys, I do need new combatants. I appreciate Tiffany. Thank you for joining, in particular because we need a bit of a feminine presence here. It would be nice if we had more than one woman next season. So don't
Next
bother.
season it should be mirrored. 4 girls, 1 guy.
That would be interesting. But either way, look, if you're not 18 or older, don't bother. I'm looking for adults here because I want to avoid any and all legal troubles. So, if you're not 18 or older, I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. Maybe in the future with a lot more structure, but right now, Raw Quiz Show is adult participants only. That being said, we still strive to keep the content here accessible to children, despite the odd swear word. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell too, because just because you've subscribed doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be notified when a new episode drops, which is usually on Saturdays. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ryan Ashley Wall. This is the Raw Quiz Show.